Welcome back to the best damn training channel on YouTube. Today is gonna be an upper body day. Essentially, all we got for our main movements is an incline press. And then everything outside of that is just gonna be accessory. So what I'm gonna do for my warm up today is I had the idea that I just wanna get a med ball and start throwing it against the wall until I felt warm today. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab a med ball, do 2, 3 different variations of tosses, 5, 6, 7, 8 reps on each of those variations, maybe 2 sets, maybe 3 sets, just depends on how everything's gonna feel. And then we're gonna move on to the incline press today for the first part of today's workout. All right, so what I'm gonna do first is just kind of a chest pass. Probably do 5 reps on this, and I'm really just trying to throw a ball and be as fast and explosive as I can as I do this. I need to scoot back a little bit. That felt good. So probably gonna do, I don't know, let's do 2 sets and then we'll switch it up to a different throw variation. All right, second one I'm gonna do here is essentially going to be a pressing variation again, but I'm gonna just add a little bit of rotation into that so I can get more of a single arm movement. Trying to do like a single arm forward is gonna be a little bit awkward. So being able to do kind of a rotation into that, I feel like is gonna be a little bit more powerful when it comes to single arm press variation. So we're gonna do probably 5 reps on each side. Start with the dominant side because when I go to my left side, this is gonna get real awkward. All right, let the awkwardness commence. And again, probably gonna do 2 sets of that. All right, so the last variation I want to do is something overhead. The med ball that I was using is 7 kilos. So essentially close to a 15-pound med ball going overhead isn't the smartest thing to do. So I found this other one, which has some sand in it. It says it's 3 kilos, but it's definitely lighter. And I feel like it's going to be a little bit more comfortable to get overhead. But because that sand is in there, trying to like load this up without that sand sloshing around and feeling weird. So I'm gonna start low and kind of swing this overhead just so I can keep the sand still. And then I'm just gonna go an overhead throw variation and probably do 5 reps on this again. 1 set, 2 sets, just depending on how this first one feels. Tell you what, my abs are sore from that ab wheel yesterday. I can feel that when I get that stretch, it's like, ugh, and then trying to toss that thing. That feels good. All right, so we'll do 1 more set of those. All right, so I stole this variation from javelin throwers. Is I think the first time I saw this. We also, when I used to throw javelin in high school, we did a variation of this, but we did it from like a split stance, and essentially you're just using a med ball to throw instead of using a jab. But I've seen some javelin guys, as they do this, like they can get down, get that ball overhead, and they're almost touching their damn feet with that ball before they launch it. I feel like I'm gonna break my back if I try to get that low. Like that's maximum for me. That piss poor example of extension is that's as far as I'm getting. All right, you know what? We got one good rep left in us. All right, let's go do some incline press. All right, so incline press today. 3 sets of 8, and I'm gonna be around 90 kilos on this. I also don't know how this incline setup is gonna feel because these squat racks aren't made for incline benches. So I grabbed an incline bench, I threw it in here. I haven't done barbell incline bench in a long freaking time. Oh, so we'll see how this feels. Not too bad actually. So I think we're just gonna jump straight to 90 kilos. I feel warm. Throw the med ball around a bunch of reps prior to doing any kind of upper body strength movement sure does warm you up really well. So I'm gonna throw on 90 kilos, 3 sets on this, 8 reps, just trying to keep this a little bit on a lighter range and do a press variation that I haven't been doing over the last 8 months, which has been a bench press. So I've done some like dumbbell incline variations, but I wanted to add a barbell incline variation in because that's going to be more specific towards a flat bench. And part of this strictly strength program that I'm on right now is we're trying to build up the squat, the bench, and the deadlift. So variations of those movements are going to be throughout the first 4 to 6 weeks. And then we're going to get more specific towards those movements as we get close to the end of this program. And I've decided that I'm actually going to do kind of like a mock powerlifting meet at the end of this program where I'm just going to have a single day where I'm going to go in and I'm going to do squat, bench, and dead and just try to max out on that and see what a total for me would be at the end of this 12 weeks. So I'm going to throw in 90 kilos and then we're going to start knocking out some of these sets. All right, so incline press is done, and I'm basing my incline press percentage work off of my 1 rep max on the bench press. So the percentages are gonna be the lower percentages to keep that a little bit lighter because obviously you can bench press more than you can incline press. But it got me thinking about like just stupid pet peeves that I have. And I mean, to be fair, I think all pet peeves are stupid, which is why they're called pet peeves. But it got me thinking about one that's like, people who have personal bests for everything is a pet peeve of mine, where it's like, oh, they got a flat bench press 1 rep max. They've got a bench press max with wrist wraps. They've got a bench press wraps without wrist wraps. Incline press max with and without wrist wraps. They've got like Olympic lifting. You see this a lot. There's like, oh, PB on my 3 position clean plus a front squat plus a jerk. It's like, that's not a personal best. Like personal bests are just 1 rep maxes or 1 effort outputs. Let's say it's a broad jump or a 40-yard dash or a vertical jump or your 400 time or your 1 mile time. Like those are personal bests. It's not based off of what shoes you wore that day and like what the weather is like that day. So that's just, it got me thinking about just a stupid pet peeve that I have is like people who have PBs for literally everything, which is stupid. But anyways, enough of the pet peeves. We're gonna move on to our accessory movements for the day. We're gonna do 2 sets on pretty much everything today, but we're gonna go to like 3 to 4 reps in reserve. So pushing it close to failure, but not quite failure. So I'm gonna do an inverted row, keep my feet elevated to make it a little bit more of a variation where it's gonna be slightly progressed from doing it feet on the ground. And like I said, 2 sets on that, and then we'll move on to the second part of today's accessory work. All right, so next up is gonna be some dips. Welcome to my janky dip setup with a couple barbells and a couple squat racks. Same type of setup though. We're just gonna do 2 sets on this, 3 to 4 reps in reserve. So we're just gonna knock these out until we get to that point where we're getting close to failure, but we're not pushing it too far into failure. But I wanted to kind of explain a little bit more on like the focus of today's session. Obviously, we're doing a bench press variation with the incline press, and I feel that that incline press is going to help me with the bench press because you're focusing a little bit more on the front delt. You're getting a lot more tricep into it with the extension and the lockout. So that for me is usually my sticking point, is I can get the bar off of my chest, but then when I get that front delt and the tricep to need to like take over the movement, it kind of stalls out and gets really heavy in that position. So I'm going to be focusing on that a lot. Inverted row works on upper back, works on the shoulder. You're getting kind of protraction, retraction through the scap. You're getting your traps activated on that. Obviously, you're using the lats a little bit because it is a pulling variation. You're getting your biceps involved a little bit. So it's just, for me, I've done a lot of pull-ups over the last few months. I just wanted some sort of body weight pulling variation that wasn't a pull-up, so I chose the inverted row. Then we're going to a body weight pressing variation, which today I'm going to be using the dip. And for the dips, what I'm looking at doing is just trying to get down as deep as I can, get a good stretch. Again, this is going to hit the shoulders, going to hit the triceps, also going to get some chest into this. So this is going to be an accessory movement that's going to help out with my bench press variation. So I'm going to do 2 sets of this, 3 to 4 reps in reserve. And then we got 2 other movements we're going to do for today to finish off today's accessory work. All right, so Shrugs, again, we're doing that for 3 to 4 reps in reserve. I'm picking a weight that I think I can get at least 15 reps when I'm staying within that 3 to 4 RIR range, and at most probably be around 20, 22 reps on that. So I didn't count, I just kind of went for it on that. But the reason I'm doing Shrugs is I feel like Shrugs are the opposite of a dip. So in a dip, you have a lot of kind of elevation and depression throughout the shoulder when you're looking at doing your movement. So as you bring yourself down, shoulders come up. Not only are you pressing with your arms and getting yourself into an extension, but the shoulders come back down as you get to the top of that dip. Shrugs, to me, are essentially the opposite of that. You're starting with the depressed shoulder, and then you're elevating the shoulder up under resistance, and you're just repping out the reps there. So it's another way to kind of work on the traps, a little bit of the upper back, because I'm going to need that, especially for the snatching with doing that overhead movement. That's going to be a very important lockout position. Having strong shoulders and traps is going to assist with being able to catch heavier loads overhead with that. So again, 2 sets on that, 3 to 4 reps in reserve. Aim for 15 reps. If you get above 15, then that's a good set. All right, and then the last thing for the upper body session today is another movement I haven't done in a very long time, which is any sort of isolated or focused bicep work. So we're gonna do some dumbbell curls. The variation that I'm choosing is a hammer curl. This is my favorite variation because it's what I feel in the biceps the most when I do any kind of curl variation. So you can do it alternating, you can do it same arms, but the idea is 3 to 4 reps in reserve. Aim for a minimum of 15 repetitions. And if that is the minimum you can get, then that's a good set. So we'll do alternating. I have lost count. I have no clue where I'm at, but we're getting close to that 3 RIR range. Oh, that's good. Whew, all right. Well, that's gonna be it for today. Solid upper body session. I really like that. Tomorrow, we're gonna get onto the track and we're gonna do some more sprints. My legs are sore from yesterday, but they're not as sore as I thought they were gonna be. So I think tomorrow we're still gonna be able to get onto the track and be able to knock out a pretty solid session. But other than that, I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.